Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European indices, but I'd like to start with the S&P 500 here, and this will obviously have bearing on the euro markets as such. What I don't know is that do we have this wave 5 top in play here with wave 3 here, or do we have one more move up? The banking sector would in the US would suggest we have one more move up here. That means that this would be wave 4 here with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So if that's the case, then we're going to find support at the 2400 area here and then see a move up. If the 2400 becomes a retested resistance, then we're going to see the market pull down to this wave 4 here. So these are the things that I don't know. It's not quite clear yet. We need to see this little correction here kind of finish and then pick it up from there. So what that does is that leaves, this is the DAX here on a daily chart here. So it's the same thing here again as well. Do we have well, what will occur here is there's two situations. I'm not sure if we got this wave 4 or this wave 4 because this is really quite messy here. I'm quite inclined to believe that this situation here is what we've actually got here. Wave 3 here, wave 4 pulling back to the 38 point with 11,900. So we've been looking at the 12,000 basically in here, covering that gap. And then happily moving on up into wave 5 of 3 here in line with the US, and then having a larger wave 4 here. And as we know with the trading levels, the major trading levels, we normally have the arrival, the reaction, and then the first high above the level, and then the correction. So we're not really getting the to pull all the way back here, to 11,500 for a larger wave 4 is well, it's just something we have to work through. I just don't know yet. So we need to be prepared for both moves in here, and also keeping an eye on the S&P 500, that 2,400 level there as well. So yeah, look, that's kind of our thinking, and what we can do now is obviously move into the internal trend structure here and have a look. So I'm just going to go to the hourly chart here, just to go in at the top here. So not to worry about this top too much at this stage. So we were looking at this moving into the 12,000 area here. 11,900 would be the sort of first call on that. So what we've been looking at here is we've been looking at this in terms of we had this here. If I can just recopy this here and redo this here, we had this as a possible, and I'll just put it there, put it back again here as well. Just don't want to make it too confusing. So it's possible to have this as wave 1 or wave A and B here, and if this is A and B here, then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here, because this here would be wave C at this stage here. So I'm just going to put that back in here because that's how we had it before. I'm just going to pop it under there so it's sort of only half confusing. So there's things that we don't know and there's things that we know. So knowing those things that we don't know, we need to prepare for them, and we need to know at what point that's going to change. And what we do know is that we've got from this wave 2 or wave B here, we've got wave 1 and 2 and 3, and we'd been considering this as wave 4 through here. It took a long time, it was boring as batshit, but it's eventually sort of fallen out of bed here, so we're on the sort of right track here. So we are looking at this move down here. I'm thinking, oops-a daisy, that needs to go on there, that needs to go there. So we can have this as wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4, and then down for 5 here. The main point here is that this move down through here is nearly finished as such. So it's likely that we'll investigate this a little bit further. We can have this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, but we're just expecting a move a little bit further down. But what I wanted to say is it's really quite sort of normal to see a bounce off the number 3 here, which is group 1 of 12,000. So group 1 is 1, 2 and 3. So it's quite natural to see a bounce off that. It might go through that into group 2, and that number there, 12,272 is the pivot within group 2 there on the sub level. So that would be a number that you'd be looking at there, because when you're looking at 12,300, above that would be 1, 2 and 3, 10, 20 and 30, and then below that would be the 80, 72 and 65 under here. So that's where we expect the market to start finding the support here for wave 5 of either wave 3 or C. If it's wave C here, then we're going to be moving straight up from that point, but we don't have to get into that just yet. What we will be watching is if it is wave 3 as well, we'll see this is an ABC pattern here for wave 4 and then wave 5 down. That may pull down a bit further here as well into this sort of space, a bit lower here, but we'll work that out. So the trading's not going to be that fantastic here for the European markets, because we've been through the laborious wave 4 here, and then we've got a quick drop for wave 5. We expect we want 5 waves in this structure here, and wave 5 here would be roughly the same size as wave 1, but it looks a little bit shorter because of being on group 1 here, but it should make a new low here in most of the European indices here. So it could even extend down into the 12.2 sort of area. I'm not quite sure about that, but we'll look at it. But I would expect the bounce to come from, on this number here, the 12,300, or a tad below it, and then work up. So when we work in this A wave here, an A wave can be in 3 waves or 5 waves. If it ends up being in 3 waves in this first leg here, and then we get the B wave here, then I know that we're going to get, if it's 3 waves here, I know we'll get 3 here and 5 here. I know that if we get 3 here, we're going to be in the wave 4. If we get 5 waves in wave A here, I won't know this is wave 4. It could also be a more bullish move to the upside of that point if we get 5 waves here. Something that we're just going to have to navigate here, but a good tested support on this number here would send us bullish at that point. Okay, so the market can trade above it, but when it comes back down, will it find support there? Will that be the floor of it? And that's something we'll have to work through. So, look, unfortunately, it's just going to be stormy weather in here for time to come. And because these wave 2s here were simple, then this wave 4 is complex. This wave 4 is going to be a wave 4 here, will also be complex as well. This blue one is a higher degree than this one here, so it's going to be bigger than this wave 4. So we should see it 60% bigger than this previous wave 4 here. Doesn't make it any easier, but I'm just telling you how it is. So look, we're still, we're still moving down. Definitely be on the bearish side because we are under the closest, largest number here. That said, we'll get the bounce off this level here. So if I cut through to, I'll just have a look on the 15-minute chart, then the other chart. So yeah, it's kind of interesting in a way because I know that if we've got this wave 4 here, let me just bring this in a little bit. So we don't need this anymore. Don't need that one over there. Don't need that one there. That one can go over here. This one can go over here. I can just go back in there, tidy that up a bit, bring that back in here. What I was thinking here is that that's the high here. So I've kind of got to respect that. And then this is the first low here. So I'm thinking this is the A wave and the B wave and the C wave for wave 2 here. I'm thinking this is all the third wave down here. I'm thinking this is the A, the B and the C for the fourth wave here. And I'm thinking that we've got one more leg down here. I don't know if it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, but it'll be something like this, and then we'll start that ABC pattern there. So it's going to be a bit of a rough trot here. Maybe if the 12.3 becomes the retested resistance, then you could go short from there again. But if it gave the setup, so to speak, yeah. So look, that's pretty much it for this. That looks quite simple here, but this will be drawn out more sideways here, but I'm just going to put that in and save that there. There's not much more I can add to this at the moment for this one. So I'm going to have a look at the AEX next. This is why I think the DAX could also be wave 3 up here, because it just fits so nicely for the AEX, and we're looking at the 500 as the 38.2% retracement level here. When I'm looking at all these spikes here, because that's where we have to take it from. I mean, the spikes are real, so it's not like they're not there, but if I kind of ignore them to a point and ignore that spike, and because they're all from the political thing, move that one, but this is the one that I would use, and just kind of, I know it's the wrong thing to do to forget about those, but I really got to go where the most flow and the most volume has come through in the most likely sort of place, But either way, it doesn't really matter, because this is such a big number, and the 32 is just here somewhere. It's possible for the wave 4 to pull down to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, but that brings it down too far at that stage, so that's a bit of a concern. So I'm happy with this. So I do think that we're going to get the bounce from this area here. It's just a shame that all of this here is also really messy as well. When we go to the hourly chart that we've been sort of working on here, there's been a variety of things here that have made things sort of a little bit sort of complicated. I don't really know how to count this down through here. I'm sure other people have got different counts and so on and so on, but what I've tried to do is just stay, is say that I don't know and say what I do know, and and we've been okay with that. We've been sort of pretty good sort of working our way through this particular pattern here as such. So we've had this, it's a wave 5 low here, even though it didn't make a new wave low here, but it did on the DAX. So, we could use that, and that was probably the right thing to do. We're looking for, wave 4 to move back up in line with the other guys as well. There's a top here, but I always thought this move up here was the top, but I'm not quite sure about that either. I know that we should have been on the short side here to catch that sort of move down. That's okay now. I mean, even though this wave 3 here never made a new low here, 5 made a new low here. I mean, will this one? I mean, do we actually put that there under this one here? I mean, I don't know that, or do we allow one more move to come down into this space here? I mean, after all, here is, what, in terms of, just clean this up, in terms of being a trader as such, then really we're just looking for signals. And when I look at this market, when it moves through here, I very rarely chase a market moving through a big number, because I know it's going to sort of kick back, and it has kicked back. So naturally I would put this under here for the trigger. Sure, I could work up and get closer in here, but I need to pull that apart, and you can do that too. So we could be finishing this here quite shortly. If there's going to be a bigger picture in there on the short side, I'd need to see this market under the 500 here. But even so, if the market came down to here, it's going to bounce off here anyway, and we'll need to examine the bounce. The other thing that we could look at, I don't know how big, I know Unilever is really big. This is Unilever on 1 hour chart here, and obviously it's traded in the UK as well, and so on and so on. And you know, the AEX and the DAX have started their corrections at different times and so on. But we'd been looking at Unilever as it came up here, didn't we? You know, and we thought that we had a top in play here because on the daily chart we could see all the bars that were, you could see the pressure coming in on the bars. We'd seen the first 5 waves down, so we figured that after a corrective move there would be another 5 waves down. So far here, I was thinking with Unilever here that we've got this. I've got an A wave and a B wave and a C wave. It could be bigger and uglier. It could be the C wave, wave 3 here. I don't think that's the case because oh, no, I suppose so. Yeah, I mean, normally the A wave is the sharpest, but this is, it's sharp, but this one here seems to be a bit more sharper, doesn't it? So we certainly could be playing it out here. So anyway, main point here is that this structure down here doesn't seem to be completed yet in terms of wave 1 to here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, and then 1 and 2. And I've got wave 3 all the way down here. I've pulled this apart on a 5-minute chart to have a look at this. So wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. So I think we're in wave 3 here with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave coming back up. So that could come back up to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, which would be what we can do here, is we can grab that here, that low here, and then that's the 38.2% retracement level there. So what we do in this case is we use 2 numbers, don't we? We go, that's the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and that's the 38.2% retracement level. So it's possible to see this move up as an A and a B and a C wave up here, a little gap in here, and then down for this here to complete that there. So that's where Unilever is on that. Just move that. And the UK market, it's kind of, you know, France and the AEX and the UK have been much the same as well. I also know that there can be a bigger bearish count here for this particular market as well, but I just really wanted to, you know, and that could be calling this wave 1 and this wave 2 here as such, you know, instead of wave B here. But I just wanted to count things out as I go, you know, because I was unsure. So so this could be a much bigger bearish picture here as well, but we just got to go step by step, you know. It doesn't look like it wants to go down a lot. It's holding there. It does drop quickly when it wants to, but it's sort of reluctant. But still, the wave structure here is wave 1 and 2, and this is all a little bit dodgy in this area here. But I've got wave 2, wave 3 here, wave 4 here, in line with the other markets, and then wave 5 coming lower than the 7,300 area here. I don't know how this counts out here. Once again, we've got this high here, so I would imagine that we've got wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and wave 5 down. So, you know, even if we had something here, yeah, it's certainly not ready to go long. We can't go long until we're above wave 4 here, basically, at this stage, and we've got no structure to get our sort of teeth into. So we're still on the bearish side here, and we just need to stay with that here too. Just clean these up a little bit while I'm here. There's not a lot that I can add to this here, except that we really need to stay on the short side of all these markets until proven otherwise. I mean, here's a good example of the 300 getting a bounce here. I'll just look on the cash. Yes, the cash market would suggest that we've got this is wave 1 here, this is wave 2 here, this is wave 3 here. And even though that wave 4's bounced up there a lot, that's wave 4 here, and we'll look for wave 5 a tad below here before we see a larger bounce come into play. Once again, I don't know if this is wave 3 or wave C here. We're just going to have to wait until we start to see this rally here in terms of what we've actually got here. All right, that's about it really. So it's not great when we're in a correction. All these markets, it's just how big is it going to get, and where we can take advantage of things. And there's not really good places at the moment, as you can see. They're not trending very well, and any moves that happen just happen really quickly. So it makes it a little bit tricky, but it's just where it is, and it's just something that we all need to accommodate in terms of patience-wise, and just wait. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.